funny enough, when I was younger, I was the last one. Yeah. So I had an older brother. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. But when I was young, like it was quite interesting being the last one. But because me and my brother had different moms, so I'm my mom's first one, and at the time I was my dad's last one. So it was like the early memories for me were being a last one on one end. Yeah.
Hello and welcome to the second episode of the Young Podcast. My name is Suleiman Ismail, and today we'll be having an amazing discussion with amazing people. Today's topic is what is the reality of being a firstborn, and I have some of my guests. We have a firstborn of his family, and also we have a lastborn of the family. Can you guys introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Andrew. I'm 25. I'm a first, middle, and last born all at the same time. It's kind of a complicated thing. But yeah, I am my mom's firstborn child, and I do have a younger half brother. And it's fun. It's fun being the firstborn in some ways.
Right, yeah, my name is Ryan, and I'm 18 years old, and I'm the fifth born child of my family. So, I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's gonna be amazing discussion. So a quick one before we just jump to it. So what are some of your early memories growing up in that household, being a firstborn, especially you, Andrew? Can you tell us some early memories of yours?
So funny enough, when I was younger, I was the last one. Yeah. So I had an older brother. Unfortunately, he passed away a few years ago. But when I was young, like it was quite interesting being the last one. But because me and my brother had different moms, so I'm my mom's first one, and at the time I was my dad's last one. So it was like the early memories for me were being a last one on one end. Yeah. And obviously because my half brother was raised by my mom. Like she was my brother's stepmother at the time. And to me it was just like I really didn't care much about my parents. It was always about me and my brother. Like I remember like he started riding a bicycle, I wanted a bicycle. He got these really, really cool old Nikes. This is around 2004. So they would be the Ronaldinho Nikes with the tongue out. I wanted those. They didn't get me those. They got me Adidas ones. So he had red Nikes. I had blue Adidas. What I didn't know was that those were the Zidane Adidas. And I hated them at the time. And then now I'm like, wait, I had really cool shoes when I was growing up. Yeah.
And what are some of your memories?
Between me and my siblings, we've barely met each other. Like when I was a child, at least.
Yeah.
But for now, we do like talk a lot and we meet a lot. And growing up, so in my hometown, so my sister was there living with my parents and my other brother. And, my sister lived with my mom and my brother was with, I think, his current girlfriend or something. Yeah, funny story, my brother had like, I don't know, I think 5 exes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy revelation.
Really weird.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I had good relations with, I think, all of his exes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was-
crazy, that.
The last one was like when I was 14 or something, and they're married now, so
Oh,
that's
okay,
fine.
okay,
Yeah.
that's good. I mean, at the end of the
That's
day,
cool.
it's
Yeah,
converted
like
to
one
that.
kid, yeah.
To the marriage.
Alright, so me with my sister, okay, so she was, yeah, she was basically babysitting me the entire time.
Okay, I mean,
Yeah,
literally, you are the last one. So what do you
Yeah.
expect? I mean,
Yeah,
I mean,
I was
always like,
yeah, they gave me way too much freedom. That's what I'd say. And, because so my sister, she was with me for most of my life. And then out of out of nowhere, she just went to Australia. And I was like, why'd you leave me?
yeah.
Yeah, just that's like my most fond memory of her. I mean, and she's back now in my hometown because her kids
yeah.
really liked Indonesia for
Indonesia.
some reason.
I mean, like, it's that. I mean, you see, it's a like different dimension. Him saying that he's like the firstborn, also having a brother, and just kind of having that reality of having like that old person who always like care for us. But reflecting on being a firstborn, I'm a firstborn of my entire family. Like, so it's like, so what are like those responsibility that comes with being a firstborn, and I think you as a lastborn, what are some of those things that you see like responsibility? I mean, responsibility of firstborn. You can answer first, then you give Andrew. Responsibility. How they like for your firstborn or like your elder brothers, your elder siblings reacting or taking care of you.
Yeah, no, they just took care of me, like bought me food or something, or
Yeah,
went
do you
out
think
with
like
me. Like
nah,
that's
do you, no,
really
not
all.
beautiful. I mean, but in terms of like that kind of they always try as much as possible not to disappoint and kind of just always trying as much as possible to put the name of the family. I mean, and being a firstborn is like not something easy.
Yeah.
It comes with a lot of stuff, right? I mean, there is so much of expectation from your parents, the society expects you. I mean, that literally you are the only one. You have siblings, right?
Yeah.
The behavior you make, whatever, if it's a good behavior, you have siblings who look up to you and all that kind of stuff. So how do you see that like change?
Yeah, but my siblings, they really just like do whatever. If you get what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like
I get it. So what
uh,
do you give Dan Drew, what do you think about this? Like give you the mic.
Like, it's kind of funny how you said it.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, like
Yeah,
this
that-
because
like,
at the end of the day, you see, right? I mean, the reality of you being the first one and him being the last one, it's gonna be totally different opinion.
yeah, they
on
get
the-
it easy.
Yeah,
Your
yeah,
life was easy.
Yeah, they get it easy.
Why do you think your life's easy? Because of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
We had to go through all this nonsense, and then
I
you.
swear. Yeah, exactly.
But it's kind of funny because I think the major problem with, well, not problem, but like the biggest difference is between being a firstborn and being a lastborn is that when you're I think we tend to look at the children and not the parents in most cases, because you kind of forget when you're your parents' first child. That's the first time your parents are being parents.
I mean, yeah.
They've never done this before.
Yeah.
They don't know how to be parents.
Parents.
I mean, we kind of look at our parents with, I mean, obviously they deserve a lot of respect for what they've done for us. We are very fortunate. We live very good lives.
Yeah.
But then I think sometimes we revere our parents too much to the point we forget they're human beings.
Exactly.
And they make a lot of few mistakes.
Mistakes. Yeah.
They make mistakes and they do whatnot. And then sometimes we kind of do forget what. That's why I think the firstborn and the lastborn experience is usually very, very different. Because when you're the firstborn, this is the first time your parent is being a parent. So they want to get everything right. And I think that's where a lot of that pressure comes from. That's why your parents are like, you have to do a lot of, you have to be a lot of this, you have to be a lot of that, you have to be a lot of this. After a while, when the second child comes along, these guys, parents are like, it's actually not that serious.
Exactly.
It's not that deep.
Yeah, it's like if you are the firstborn or like the elders in the whole family, you get to face a lot of stuff, which is like they're gonna put whatever they have learned, whatever they have already learned from their parent, and they're gonna like try to like just transfer it on you. Or some of those things that they think is useful. You know, at the end of the day, like, they will just say it. One of those things that I remember my dad usually said to me is like, look, one of the biggest thing I can give you is education. Apart from education, I don't have anything. And whatever you do, you are like, whatever behavior you do, it's directly and indirectly affecting your young ones.
Yeah.
So that's something that, I mean,
you have to set the example.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to set the example. You have
so
to
it's
set the
something that
example.
like the firstborn usually face through that pressure. But sometimes some people, some parents actually may actually be doing much more. I mean, not the expected thing, but handling it as an elder is like really, really hard sometimes. Because if I do anything wrong, I'm gonna my young ones are there to what do you call it?
It's funny you say that because I remember. So when I was about 6 or 7, we moved cities, and I'm from Tanzania. We moved to a city called Dar es Salaam, which is the commercial center of the country.
Okay.
And all my aunts are there, so all their children are there as well, and their children are 6 years younger than me, 7 years younger than me.
Okay.
So every step of the Tanzanian education system, I go through it first, and then my cousins follow.
Okay.
But because we all lived in the same city, we were all so close to each other. We'd meet each other every week. Me and one of my cousins ended up going to the same school. So I remember anytime I got like a report card, I used to hate math for some reason. I still do, to be honest. Like, I hate math. But like anytime I got a report card, my mom would yell at me. And then we'd meet my aunt in the weekends. And then they'd yell at me too. And then they'd be like, your cousins are going to look at this and then they're going to think it's normal to fail. And I'm like, bro, it's just a B. It's not that serious.
Yeah.
But then it's like...
it's like a very quick one, seriously. One of those things that I always like really afraid of. You can give him the mic. It's like, I don't want to have a bad grade when my young ones are very, like, seriously, right? If are we talking about someone that is smart, I'm literally not smart in my whole. Literally, I'm saying my younger ones are way smarter. Our last one, literally, those guys are taking first, second, and me, well, I'm like, not the best student. Yeah, not the. You shouldn't talk about it, right? But seriously, as a firstborn, there is always that like pressure that you want, because your parent. You're gonna make that, having that impression that, look, we are spending money on you and all that kind of stuff. It shouldn't be like this. Whatever you do, you should be the one teaching the young ones, right? Sometimes, right, as a firstborn, your young siblings may have assignments and all that kind of stuff. Then they'll ask you to go and like do it for them. So like, what are those struggles that you seen firstborn going through? You literally have a lot of elders.
Okay. Let me just be honest. I can't say much because, like I said, they live pretty far from me, from like my early years. So like only my second sister was actually close to me, like really close to me, and my the youngest brother. So like, and he's like 20 or 10 years older than me. I can't remember, honestly.
Oh my god.
Yeah. That's how far it is. Like, I
that's
can't
crazy.
remember.
It's like it's like those are like your second parent.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, that's
Literally.
I
Yeah.
know
Like, what?
struggles is 'cause
Yeah.
they don't really communicate like what they're feeling
Yes.
or what they're doing to me. 'Cause I don't know. Maybe they think I'm not, like as mature as them, so they don't trust me with like their problems.
Of course.
Yeah,
So,
I mean, like,
of course.
Do you think, like, sorry to interject,
yeah.
but do you think like there is something that, like, there is an experience that you have as being the youngest sibling, especially like, I think there's, because like some of my friends in school sort of had your experience where their elder siblings were, some of them were from previous marriages that their parents had, and some of them were like their parents remarried after they lost a partner. And so they had this experience where they were sort of like their siblings have left the house. Like from maybe they had half their childhood with an elder sibling, one or two, and then they leave the house, and then they are sort of like the last one, but also the only child at the same time. Is that sort of your experience?
kind of, I guess. I mean, so my sister left me when I was like, oh, that sounds wrong, but she like,
Yeah, he was like trying to say like, in
like
that kind of scenario in which like,
if
she left where your parents, like,
yeah, I think it was like when I was 8 or something, or maybe 10, and yeah, the rest of those years I was just like, it feels like I'm the only child because they're all so far away compared to me, at least.
You are always there with the parents.
Yeah.
How was it like? How is it like? I guess.
Okay, so
do you feel like pampered, or like you all feel like always called out and all that kind of stuff?
like both at the same time. So I was like pampered and
Both at the same time.
just getting scolded like all
So,
the
like,
time.
So if you do anything that like wrongdoings, is it like your parent would discipline you, or like they'll call your sister or something to come and spark your ass or
Yeah,
something?
they disciplined me, and worst case scenario, if I did something really stupid, he threatened to call my second brother. Yeah. I was scared of him, but now it's like, why should I be scared of him? Because like,
Are you seriously?
I don't know. I don't get that. It's not scary. He's my brother. Why should I be scared of him?
Okay. So one of the interesting things, like, what are some of the fights? Because look, as siblings, with someone with a lot of siblings, Andrew may not really relate much, but maybe he can have it with his sibling, with his other cousins or something like that. But for you, that you are the last one, because naturally last one are really, really stubborn, and there will always be that kind of fight between brothers and like last ones and like the middle born, all that kind of stuff. So Andrew is like the first only person, so he may not have you related. Are you you relate to that? Did you fight with like siblings or like?
Both sides actually. Both sides. I've been the
Yeah.
youngest sibling. I've been the oldest.
Yeah.
sibling.
Yeah.
I've done both.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah. So like what are some of the fights you had with your like brothers, like siblings? And like kind of disagreement in which you guys like, because me sometimes we have it, and like
Yeah.
especially my immediately siblings are ladies, like
Yeah.
they are ladies, so
Yeah.
you don't want to mess with, like
Nah.
literally they nag us, they nag, like when something happened they're gonna nag it like
Yeah.
literally it's like at the end of the day you're just gonna leave it to them. So what are some of the fights, or I mean siblings fight basically?
Yeah. Okay. So mainly it's just yeah, I'm throwing shade at my siblings right now, but they're kind of like dumb at internet stuff, like
Like,
technology. So
oh,
having to try to lecture them
oh,
is a pain in the ass. I'm sorry.
yeah.
But yeah, this goes like with my parents as well.
I guess
it's just really difficult. Like I'm telling them to do this, but like, what if I do this instead? And like, I know the solution is that. Don't try to overcomplicate it. Just let me do my thing. You guys won't understand. However, in whatever way I'll explain, you could ask some guy you could ask Steve Jobs to come here and explain.
yeah.
They won't understand.
So basically, you are the tech guy, while
Yeah.
them they are like really, really not into
Yeah, at
technology,
least-
and they are really old people, guy.
Yeah, at least my my second sister is like somewhat competent,
Yeah,
but the rest, oh my lord.
yeah. So definitely, I have not met them, but seriously, this is not making fun of them, but definitely they are older people, and we can't even call them Gen Z. Definitely, they're like
No,
in
they're
that
not.
millennial
Yeah,
kind
like,
of people.
yeah.
So because if not, I mean, our age, we can like be able to operate phones and all that kind of stuff. And I can really relate to that. So you, Andrew, what are some of the fight? I mean, even though you don't maybe probably have direct fight with siblings, but kind of like relatives and all that kind of stuff.
Like
Great.
it's
As a husband.
like as a firstborn, because like me and my brother have a wait, let me do the math on this. It's kind of like similar to you actually. Me and my brother have about 7-8 years between us.
Oh, that's a very good gap.
Like I would say it's about 8 years between us.
8 years, yeah.
It's about 8 years between us, and like it's before I came here, because when I came here I've not gone back home, so it's been about 2 years since I've seen him, and he's pretty much matured in that time. But he was so obsessed with playing football, and it's unfortunate because we weren't juveniles at the same time. So I was an adult, he was a kid, like because of the age gap, and I think that's a different dynamic to when you're closer in age with your siblings.
Okay.
Because then it would be like, I remember one day we were cooking stuff and I was like, let me do it. And it was like, no. We're boiling beans. I was like, no, you just do. You can go do your thing. And I went and I took a nap.
Yeah.
I wake up, everything's burnt.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Everything's burnt. Pans like completely black. The beans are like rocks. I'm
get pissed off.
I'm pissed. My dad walks in the house and he's like, when you burn beans, you can smell it from the fifth neighborhood.
I can relate. So they're not gonna what do you call it? Blame the younger one. They're gonna blame you.
So it's my fault, and I'm like, I was like, why did you? And he was like, why did you allow him to cook? And I'm like, bro, he's 15. He's a grown man. And I remember, like, I mean,
starts calling.
I got this calling.
Yeah, I know.
He left the house, went to drag him from the football pitch, and then
oh my god.
yeah, my dad fortunately doesn't hit, but he'll yell at you like.
Seriously, I mean those yell are really hard. I mean seriously.
But then it's also part of the reason I never took my dad seriously. It's like, what are you gonna do? You're not gonna hit me.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that's what they think. But seriously, I mean, especially for someone that from Nigeria, because like in my culture in Yoruba, right? Sometimes growing up as a firstborn and all that kind of stuff, when we do some things, we don't want our parents to hate us, right? Because I mean that is like typical African disciplining way. But growing up, right, at some age, it's better for them to hit you rather to say some words. Because seriously, when my parents say some words to you, you're gonna think of it for for the whole week. We're gonna be thinking of what they have said. Because also my language have like a lot of proverbs and all that kind of stuff. Then you'll be thinking, did he really say that? Literally, I swear to God, because growing up seriously, I mean, this is also that if you see whatever, if you see this, seriously, to be honest, at some point I even like were you my parents and all that kind of stuff? Because some things when they said it, I mean, our African parent will not show you the love and the pain in your eyes and all that kind of stuff. But the way they actually said the thing to you, the way they scold you, you're gonna be thinking of it for a very long time. And sometimes just maybe prefer them just hate you or something, and you just forget about the whole scenario never happened or something like that. See, what do you think? I mean, growing up like in an older, do you prefer more to be hit or just to be scolded and you just like allow it to go from here and go out?
I guess it depends on who's doing the scolding.
Yeah.
Because like my dad's very careful with his words.
Yeah.
So he'll scold you, but he'll never go overboard.
Mm-hmm.
And half an hour he's done.
Half an hour.
So you're like,
oh my god, that's a lot. What?
But he's done. He's done. He's not bringing it up again. When he finishes, he's done.
Yeah.
Like when he's done, he's done.
Okay.
So it's like
okay. So it's like when he's
but
done.
then you'd have to do something incredibly stupid for him to go on for half an hour.
Okay. Yeah. And that
like
will be
burn food.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, burn food, which your siblings.
So it's like my dad, he's done. My mom.
Mommy, I'm sorry. We are sorry.
My mom, my aunts, like I love the women in my family. Like I genuinely love the women in my family. I was primarily brought up by women.
Yeah.
Like mom, aunts, grandma.
Yeah.
Most of my cousins are women. Like I mean they were girls, but
they are now women.
They've become women now. And I genuinely love the women in my family, but like I primarily think about my mom, and then I had this aunt called Auntie Gorette, who's my dad's older sister.
Yeah.
They'll keep going.
For
They'll just
weeks.
keep going.
For months.
They'll just keep
whenever
going.
they beat you, unless if something happened, news to kind
so
of
my mom
forget.
will hit you with whatever's in her hand. Auntie Gorette will not hit you, but Jesus Christ, she'll just keep going. She'll just keep going. She like genuinely, she won't stop.
Yeah. Oh my god, that's
I
great.
remember that. So like before my brother passed, I went to visit her. So it was me, my brother, Leon was his name, and Auntie Gorette's daughter, her name is Kautha. And Leon had done something, I don't remember what it was, something minor. But then she yelled at him. He talked back.
Oh my god.
So you don't do that.
My god. Nah. That's what
the thing is, Auntie Gorette won't use her adultness.
Yeah.
Like she won't use the fact that, oh, you're talking back to me. No, she'll go one-on-one with you.
Yeah.
So he starts getting yelled at. Kautha gets it for no reason.
Yeah. And also you
I get it for no reason.
That's to make an African.
Like
I can relate.
It was like 2.5 hours in the middle of chores, by the way. So we're cleaning the house, we're getting yelled at. And then we're just like, why did you have to talk to her? Why? And then like at the end of it, she was like, I think she wanted to go buy something. And then she was like, I need cash. I don't have cash. I'm not going to withdraw cash. And then she calls my brother Leon and she's like, give me money.
Yeah.
Like she and I was like,
yeah.
And I was like, bruh.
How do you expect to give you money?
But the funny thing is she actually asked him.
Yeah.
But it's not like she stopped talking.
Yeah.
She kept going.
Okay.
She kept going.
Yeah.
So with Auntie Gorette, I wish she hit me. Like I wish she would just hit me and then we'd stop.
And just
because she will go on. There was this another time I went to visit her when I was like 10.
Yeah.
Well, this was quite recent. This was around, I think I might have been 16, 17 at the time.
Okay.
When I was 10, way younger, I went to visit her. I didn't quite like that period. I don't remember why. But then I was crying to go back home.
Okay.
She did not like the idea of having a guest in her house crying to go back home.
Oh yeah. I mean, that was a terrible, kind of thing to her. I mean,
yeah.
So she's gonna feel like, what the hell? Are you
she still brings it up.
Are you mistreated?
Yeah, I wasn't mistreated.
Yeah. I mean, she's gonna feel like
it kind of looks like you're mistreated, right? But I wasn't mistreated, and she still brings it up. This was 15 years ago.
So she still bring it up.
This was 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's crazy, right? Yeah.
But that's Auntie Gorette for you. I love her too.
I mean, seriously, one thing also, like we came from literally a different dynamic, like region and kind of different culture. We came from the Asian and we from African especially. Like, how are those aunts and kind of like the scolding thing? Like, what if you speak back to your parents or speak back to your
talk
brothers?
Back to your parents?
How did that
Wait,
scenario
you get away with talking back to your parents?
How did
the
it go?
youngest child.
Oh, you see, that's what we are trying. I mean, that's whole point of this podcast, right? Is to share
Yeah.
experience because literally, right, firstborns and middleborns, right, most of the time when they talk back to their parents, you are done.
You're done.
Like literally, right? I can say it, right, but there is a lot of stuff because our parents are now old, man. They can't literally. They'll be like, just live it. Literally. I swear I can still remember some of those things that I would do as a young person. I mean, very young. I'm gonna get hits. Like literally, I'm gonna get scold, hits, and everything. But my young ones are doing it now, and they're getting scot free. Like, literally, those guys are not getting anything because literally our parents are not like, bro, I don't have. Oh, please.
Do you feel like your parents have mellowed down?
Kind
I
of
know
like
you don't have much of a reference point,
Mhm.
but do you think like they're
Like,
calm?
they
Like, do
are
you think,
more-
like they're liberal parents,
like I mean,
Nah.
calmer, like related to when you were like
or do you still
very
do you
kid.
feel like they're strict?
I don't think they're like that strict. They just like restrict my like
Social.
how much like time
The-
I have on my gadget or stuff like that. But like
I
that's real. That's
That's still
Yeah.
that's still normal. I say you're
Yeah.
not getting like so much
Yeah,
of
it's just-
beatings and all. But
Mm.
like in terms of talking back to your parents, what is
Mhm.
one scenario that you speak back to them and what is like their reaction?
mainly that whole technology stuff.
Okay.
Like-
so you were using the technology and they asked you to stop and you
Yeah, that as well as the telling them like, oh, you do this instead of that, and it's like, why should I listen to you? And the thing is, like, I don't want to like talk down on my parents, but like I'm smarter than you in terms of technology. Like,
okay. Yeah.
come
Yeah.
on. How do you
it's
still
maybe the
not
reality.
trust me?
It does.
Because they like in the early years they gave me like so much unrestricted like internet access.
Oh.
So I had to learn all of like this, like what the hell's the Wi-Fi and how
Mm.
do I log into that stuff?
Yeah.
How to make an email? I had to learn all that stuff by
Yeah,
myself.
by myself. So you get
Yeah.
more experience on that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they're asking me like this question and like, you're trying to learn from me, so you should respect at least me,
Ah.
right?
So
'Cause
you
I
see, right?
respect you,
You,
but like,
you see, right? That's what we are saying, right?
respect how I do
That is the mindset. That's the mindset of the last ones. It's like now, right? He wants his parents to respect him. They won't respect it. That's the reality. I mean, literally, the way firstborn will look at it, he won't look at it like they should respect him. He's gonna look at it, yeah, okay. I'm gonna listen to you, whatever you say. After all, I'm gonna give you feedback, whatever it's that. But now you, as a last one, you're having that mindset. You're like, oh my god, you should respect me because I'm teaching you.
yeah,
I mean, like, but parents are not gonna take it
Yeah.
like that. Of course,
Yeah,
they're not gonna take it like
Yeah.
like that. Talking back to especially African parents, like you don't want to do that
Mm.
because like most of the times it's gonna keep going. It's gonna keep going, and it's like one of the disrespectful things, and also one of those things, especially in my culture, when you are being scolded out, don't look at your parents. Don't look at like, don't look at them or anyone. Literally,
Yeah.
just bro. If you look at them on the eyes and while they were speaking, that's one of that's plus one disrespect. It's like, bro, it's like you have disrespect them again and again.
It's funny, like so when I was like, I'd say 13, 14,
Yeah.
like it's kind of funny because I think like early 20s
Yeah.
my mom afforded me a bit more freedom and in the way like I could talk to her.
Yeah.
So she was like, I don't talk back to her, but she's not gonna scold me on some of the things she told me about, so we have conversations. Back then, if I did something wrong, I cannot like you can't do right.
Yeah.
So if she's yelling at you and you're not looking at her, that's disrespectful. How dare you not look at me?
Oh my
If
God.
you look at her, you're so brave that you're looking at
Look
my
me.
face.
Oh my god.
First of all, you've not even said sorry. Mom, I'm sorry. Or you're saying sorry now. Now is where you remember.
Yeah.
It's like
Gonna be cooked. Yeah.
I can't do anything right. What I used to think, this like used to be my
Yeah. Kind
mental
of,
process into it. So I would usually it's sort of like a timetable.
Yeah.
So I would do something stupid. I've not cleaned something. I've not washed
Yeah.
something.
yeah.
It's usually I've not done something. My mom comes back home from work and then she yells at me. And then I'm looking at the time because
Yeah.
I'm like, around 6, we're going to start cooking.
Yeah.
So she's going to yell less. Around 7, there's this show we're going to watch. so she'll be fine. So I'm
Yeah.
looking at the clock.
Yeah, so it's like change of emotion.
Yeah,
I think-
I'm waiting for 7.
Yeah.
Waiting for 7.
Yeah, and seriously, one thing maybe I forgot to include is like also like the dynamic being you being like a male child, right? For me, I have siblings. I'm male. I'm firstborn, but I do have, ladies which are my siblings. So in terms of like house chores and all that kind of stuff, we got to do it. Like we got to split it. But then most of the craziest ones they will do it mostly like the washing and like the plate washing because I hate to wash dishes. I hate to wash dishes. But like sweeping and doing most of the lifting, like powerlifting. Things that require little bit more energy. I'm gonna do it. But like, do you do house chores? You as the last one, how? What is like the house chores you have been?
Oh, of course.
Like,
yeah,
I'm
of
talking
course I
about
have
like,
to. Yeah,
do you
yeah.
do like clean?
Yeah,
Do you
no.
clean the whole
So-
house? Do you wash dishes for the entire family?
Yeah,
or-
so
you don't expect your elder to be doing most of those.
yeah, they actually do most of the work. But
Oh
but-
my
but-
God.
No, listen to me. Because when I was like a child, when I was like 12, 15 or something, I asked my mom like, "Oh, can I sweep this?" And she's like, "No."
Oh.
Yeah, I'm serious. And then she'd complain like, "Oh, nobody wants to help me in this house."
Oh my God.
Like I don't. I'm trying to understand like why like because
Why was that?
I wanted to help, right?
Yeah.
Before that, she actually she told me to like wash the dishes, and I was like, you know what? Sure, I'll try this because I've never tried like cleaning anything before. That's how spoiled I am.
You
then,
are
like-
spoiled.
And then like
I
I
mean-
tried, and I was like, oh, that's fine as long as I don't touch that fucking Tupperware with like
Yeah.
I don't know what's inside that Tupperware.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I'll try to sweep, and it's like, nope,
Yeah.
no,
She,
she won't allow me. for some reason.
yeah, bro. It's like you are spoiled. Apart from being like, maybe we're not gonna say like you are spoiled. It's like maybe the cultural difference, right? In most of the case, even in our own place, also firstborn, lastborn get a lot of freedom on both the parents and like his elder siblings and all that kind of stuff. But up to some certain level, they expect you to do the house chores. I have siblings. I expect them to like do. You don't expect me. I have like siblings, both the boys and the girls. They should do the dishes, man. I'm not gonna do the dishes, but maybe taking care of maybe some things. Being kind of the household. For example, if my parent travel, if my dad especially travel, I'll be like the father. Like I'll be like the father of the house, and like I have to like close the door on time because like I have to check. Kind of be the security guard of the home, basically. And basically, I'm like the first point of contact. On the like if at that moment, anyone came to look for my dad or they required some signature that I have like something that they expect the person that owns the house to do. So I'm the kind of the person that will do that. So, but in terms of lastborn, it's a different case, I think. You
Sort of the man of the house, kind of.
Yeah, kind of. You as a husband, is that kind of the reality?
Yeah, not necessarily. My mom's kind of. So my mom was brought up very, very different from traditional Africans. So like my grandfather insisted. My grandfather had, let me count real quick, about 4 daughters.
Okay.
And so it's kind of funny how. So it's the daughters came first.
Oh, okay.
And then the sons.
Oh.
So the oldest son in my mom's family, like my oldest uncle, is younger than the youngest daughter, than my youngest aunt.
Oh. That's cool.
He was very like my grandfather.
It's kind of, I think, a Ryan scenario. So,
Yeah.
in which like his his sisters are like really older than him, while he's like the old one.
Basically, yeah, that is my uncle's experience. Those are my uncle's, but I think they're a bit more closer in age. For my like, it's almost a matriarchy in my house as opposed to the traditional patriarchy you get in many African societies. So all of them went to school and all this and that,
kind of
and
didn't mean
because it was mostly women and my grandfather had to travel a lot. They kind of the concept of the man of the house only really came to them when they were getting married.
Okay.
Like they did not have this because all the men in their house were either my grandfather who wasn't there a lot
of them, yeah,
who worked a lot because he had to travel.
Yeah.
Because much of he used to work in the colonial government when Tanzania was still a colony.
At the time, yeah.
And then 10 years later, like when my mom was born, 10 years after independence, he still had the job that required him to travel around a lot. So for them, all the men were either not there or very, very young. that they had to take care of them.
Yeah.
So they have a different
Kind of a.
So for me, it's
Direction.
not that. Like I do not. I mean, obviously, when something happens, it's.
I mean, they look
Um,
back to you as a male person too.
But my
to
mom
kind of
never
take in
does
charge.
that. My mom never really does that.
So kind of, I think,
I remember
based on the family.
There was a
kind of
time.
settings.
There was a time the house behind ours was getting like there was a burglar who skipped the wall, went in to rob them,
Yeah.
and then they started screaming for help. My mom goes out the house. I go out the house, and my mom is like, "You go back
You go
inside. What
back."
are you going to do?" And I'm like, "Mom, I'm 20. I think I was 22, 23. I was like, "What do you mean go back inside the house?
Oh
You're
my-
50. You go back inside the house."
Yeah. I mean, seriously, that. Seriously, I mean, seriously,
It's
that.
like it was so funny. A lot of people came out, and then they were just burglars. They weren't even armed. Like these,
So, yeah,
they
this-
jumped the fence. Someone yelled,
and-
and then they
and
jumped
they-
up and ran away.
So basically,
So
yeah,
it wasn't
just-
really a big threat.
yeah, but still, I
But
mean, you,
we-
the energetic person.
So I
It's
was
a-
like, "Mom, I'm a man. What do you mean I stay inside the house?" And she was looking at me like,
I mean,
she still
I
sees
should.
me as a child.
I mean, yeah, I should be the one. Kind of should be like, I should be the one that will be taking care
Like
of it.
this concept of man of the house. To my mom, it's
Yeah.
just not there.
It's not there.
But I do think it's kind of an interesting point you bring up about gender,
Mm.
because I do think being a firstborn as a girl and as a boy are very different.
Different
experiences.
scenario. Yeah, yeah.
Like I do not think girls who are firstborns have, like, I think they have a very different relationship, especially with their moms,
Yeah.
as opposed to boys
To
when
boys.
they're firstborns. I think when you're a boy and you're a firstborn,
Mhm.
if you're fortunate enough to live in a two-parent household, your dad kind of like sort of does this thing where they build you up to be this
The man.
man kind of thing.
Yeah.
And with women, it's a different dynamic. I wish we had a girl who could tell us about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. I mean,
actually.
seriously, yeah. But okay. I mean, you experience. You're just saying, like
Because
that.
I've not had that
100
experience.
Yeah, exactly.
I've not had that
I do
experience.
100% believe that there is like little change in terms of ladies being the first one, while if it's a guy, I mean, a boy being a first one of the family, because like the expectations, they will try some of the time. The father will be kind of little lesser than you. The only things like when the father will get disappointed is like when she's doing something that is out of the hand or like out of the whole exactly hold the blue and all. But I mean, normally most of the time girls are like obedient. Most of the time, I would tell you. Yeah, I feel like I'm saying I think that girls are a little more obedient. But the problem is that you don't want those obedient kids to be disobedient, because the moment they be disobedient, you are done. Because believe me, right, it's better for a guy to be disobedient. I mean, it's like should stop respecting up to some certain level.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes as he goes on with his life, he's going to realize that and feel guilty about it. But when ladies turn the other side, getting them back on track, it's hard, man. It's hard, man. That's the reality. I mean, seriously, you can tell, right? That's the reality. I mean, we have seen a lot of people. It was like, okay, they have been daddy's pampers and mommy's pampers and all that kind of stuff. But maybe because their parents are so strict, and the moment they get a little spark of freedom, maybe by just going to the university and probably meeting some wrong people or not the right people, and it's just gonna be the whole chaos, and they are now a different type of people and all that kind of stuff. Seriously, I feel like this chat will go on and go on and go on, and I think we have exceeded the actual time we wanted to chat about it. It was really amazing having you both on this and having kind of share even some of your personal experience in life and sharing some of your stories with the audience. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like, and we shall bring you more of this. Thank you guys. And bye.